Welcome to Big Conversations with T. Oh boy, what a night! I am just wondering what you think so far of our programming, of the big conversations we've brought to you. Would you want us to do it again? Would you support us? Would you advertise with us? Would you just basically like, share, and subscribe to our comment? It's a relationship segment right now, and we've got Coach Rosemary Trish Pamwa. She's a mother of three, a speaker, a relationship dating coach, a life transformation retreat. Hello, welcome to Big Conversations with T. Oh boy, what a night! I am just wondering what you think so far of our programming, of the big conversations we've brought to you. Would you want us to do it again? Would you support us? Would you advertise with us? Would you just basically like, share, and subscribe to our comment? It's a relationship segment right now, and we've got Coach Rosemary Trish Pamwa. She's a mother of three, a speaker, a relationship dating coach, a life transformation retreat leader. She's a Reiki master and the author of several books, including Exhume or Heal, A Widow's Memoirs, Getting a Groove Back, and Resetting Your Life Handbook, A Triumphant Snapback. And she joins us from her base in Calgary to help us make sense of the loneliness pandemic in our lives. Good evening, Coach Rosemary. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday evening with us.
Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for your time. I'm really grateful. You've been following some of our content so far this evening. What do you think?
Yeah, I was really paying close attention, especially to the finance, the taxes. You know that government money is never free. and the one thing I didn't know was, even when you're on EI, you still have to pay taxes on it.
Oh, yeah.
So the government will give you with the right hand and take it away from you with the left hand.
I'm glad some of our programming makes sense. So, right, a new report suggests that 36% of all Americans, including 61% of young adults and 51% of mothers with young children, feel serious loneliness. So loneliness is the scourge of the century, and in spite of the fact we've got Twitter, Reddit, Instagram, Facebook, most of us are still lonely. Is there any hope for us lonely people? How did you survive? I'm sorry about the demise of the transition of your husband, Coach, but how did you survive?
It wasn't an easy road to say. It was a rocky, bumpy, and dusty road. When you have lost a loved one, the trajectory of your life totally changes. You lose friends because when you were married, you were in the company of other couples. But when you have lost your loved one, the couples, they kind of, drop out of sight one by one, because there's a saying that the coupled people say. They say that the divorcees and the widows, they are boring people, because when you are divorced or when you have been widowed, you kind of talk in past tense, because you always say, oh, when my husband was still alive, I used to do this with him. But those that are still in the relationship, they will say, um, me and my husband and our children, we do this or we are going to do that. So when you are widowed or divorced, you don't have a future as a couple because the other part of your couple is gone. So the way that people need to pay close attention to when you have lost your beloved one is find out why you are really lonely. Is it really because you have lost the loved one, or it's because of the events that follow after the death of your loved one, or after the death of the relationship, which is the divorce? You have been divorced, or you have been widowed, or you have gone through a heartbreak. Are those the only reasons that are causing you to be lonely? Or is it because people are shunning you, right? Because in our African culture, a lot of people, they think when you are divorced, you are no longer worthy to be respected by the community, because they always think single people are not worth the community respect, which in my books, I think it's not fair, because some people don't choose to be single. Some people, yes, they are single by choice, but it's not everybody who chooses to be single. When you've been divorced or widowed, most of the times it's not even your choice to get divorced. Situations push you to a point where you have to get out of that relationship. When you have been widowed, of course, you didn't kill your husband, unless if you did. But then if you did you know how it was going to affect you afterwards? Probably not. Most of the times, people forget why they went into that relationship in the first place. You went into that relationship because you wanted to build a relationship between two families. But when the other parts of your life is gone, then you find yourself being an alien. Even when you visit your in-laws after you have been divorced or widowed, you feel lonely as well, because people don't treat you the same. You are no longer invited to as many family events as you are supposed to. So I want to warn people that have just been recently widowed or divorced, and they were questioning why their in-laws were shunning them. This is very common, and this is the reason why I wrote my book, Exhume or Heal, a widow's memoir, Getting a Groove Back, because it will come. Your in-laws are going to shame you. They are going to exclude you in a lot of family events because you don't belong anymore, because their relative is no longer there. If you have children, yes, sometimes they can invite you because of the children, but most of the times you are now an alien because you don't fit into their puzzle anymore. You are now a visitor. So when you go there, you have to reassess the relationship that you had with your in-laws and the relationship that you have right now. So I urge all those people that, it's time to either rebuild the relationships or get out of the family units, because sometimes you try to push yourself to belong, because as human beings, we are very social beings. We like to belong to a community. You like to belong to a family unit, especially like for me, I'm still called in Pabra, but my husband passed away about 22 years ago. So I still carry his name, right? So wherever I go, it's still a reminder to me that I belong to this family. But does the family treat me the same as they used to when my husband was still alive? No.
All right.
Because,
Coach, there's so many things I want to unpack, so I'm just going to ask you to pause a second So you were married
Yeah.
and your husband died 22 years ago.
Yes. Yeah.
So did you get remarried maybe? Did you get remarried?
Not yet, but I will be very soon.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
sweet. Okay, well,
Yeah.
congratulations in advance. Because I was just going to say a lot of black, maybe some black African women, when their spouses die, they die. They
Yes.
they don't look ever to get married again, and and maybe their in-laws will tell them off for something, but and then poverty sets in and all this other kind of stuff. So I really salute
Mhm.
you for embracing that. But I don't want to focus the comment on just widows alone. I want us to talk
Yeah.
about loneliness. Loneliness is a pandemic. Some people,
It's a
even in
pandemic. Yeah.
relationships, are lonely. Some people, even
Hmm.
though they're married, they are lonely. And many people get mental illness because they're not
Of
dealing with.
loneliness. Yeah.
We were born, I was born alone, I'll die alone. I won't die with my boyfriend, would I? And I won't die with my spouse if I had a spouse. So the question is, how do we even deal with loneliness? Because it affects every one of us, in spite of what the in-laws say. How do we deal with this pandemic that is eating us up alive, not wanting to remain alone or not being able to deal with being alone? Your thoughts?
Yeah. So the first thing is you need to ask yourself, why are you lonely? Right? And do you accept that you are lonely? A lot of people, they that loneliness, it is a pandemic because it will develop into serious mental health issues. It's because people deny and lie to themselves that I'm not really lonely. I can stay on my own. No, we are all social beings and we like to belong to something. We like to belong to a group of people. We like to be talking to people. Um, the COVID-19 pandemic has brought in a lot of serious mental health issues due to the loneliness that it created. A lot of family units were divided and destroyed because people were forced to be alone in so many places. People could not visit each other or be with other people. So the first thing that people need to do is be honest with yourself. Why do you feel so lonely? Is it because um, you have just gotten out of a relationship, or is it because you are scared of what the people will say around you? Right? You are scared that, oh, I cannot go to church because I'm so scared that I'll end up picking up uh, the virus. Because some people, they've been so engrossed in this pandemic to a point where they were so scared to leave their own home, thinking that if they go outside or go into a church, they are going to breathe in. They are going to breathe in um, the COVID-19 virus. But the thing is, if you are careful with yourself, just be careful what you touch. Just be careful what you do when you go out into the community, and when you come back, wash your hands as often as possible. Don't touch your mouth. Don't touch your noses. All this information is being put on the internet everywhere. But people, they are just so scared to go out. The first thing that you do when you realize that you are lonely, go out, start to meet people, say hello to your neighbor, right? Go out for a walk. If you don't have a dog, buy a dog if you can. If you can afford to look after a dog, get a dog or something. Join some groups, some community clubs, cooking clubs, craft clubs. Be with other people, go to church, start new hobbies, for example, walking, going to the gym, knitting clubs, crochet clubs. You can even start your own thing with other people in your community, right? You can also even start like the high teas that are now in fashion, in style. You dress up and then you go and have a cup of tea. It's not that you don't have tea in your house. It's just a way of meeting other people. That's another way as well. The other way is start a community event, either with your church or with your community. If you are a senior like me, start a seniors group. You know, have a barbecue even at your home or at your neighbor's home. Go to your neighbor, help them clean their house. All those little things, they also help you to break out of the loneliness. But the problem with the community nowadays is people are so scared of this pandemic to a point where they can't even leave their own house. Take a drive, go somewhere new and meet people. Don't wait for people to talk to you. Be courageous enough to crack a conversation, even when you're on the plane. Talk to the person that's next to you. Say hello, how are you? I know for me, I struggled with this when I came from Africa, because people here in North America, when you say hello to them, they always give you this look like, hello to me, what do you want from me? But in Africa, you see anybody on the road, you say, hello, how are you? And, it's culture. But here in North America, people are not used to saying hello to strangers. But you can start that, you can start that. Also, attend birthday parties. If you are not invited, then, try and invite yourself. Get crushed. Get crushed on some of these little events. But, find something easy and cheap that you can do. Walk to a park, sit in the park, read a book, and you will see that, once or twice when you go there, people notice people's movements. Then you will see somebody who has seen you going to the park and sitting on the same spot. They will come and sit with you and, start talking. So I think that's most of it, on how you can fight loneliness. If you are really, really depressed, then go see a doctor and they can give you some medication. But most of all, ask for help. Talk to people. How can I fight my loneliness? I don't know where to start. There's so many people that can give you easy and, tips that you can implement right away. Yeah. You are on mute. I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just
That's okay. Yeah,
not
that's
that
okay.
I was muted. I was just gonna say thank you so much. You've spoken very well, and I don't know we have enough time to do justice, but you've given like hope. If you really don't want to be lonely, then you go get crashing birthday parties. You go to
Yeah,
where
get crushed.
you
Yeah.
you go to where you can find people to talk to, people to mingle with, and it's hard. It's hard. What you were saying about being North America is hard. Like, you try to chat up a man and then they're showing you their ring. Well, I've been married for 27 years. I hope you
Yes.
know that. It's hard. Or you try to talk to someone and they go, that's my wife in the car. I don't know. So after a while, you crawl back into your shell and you say, never again will I do this. So meeting new people when you're in your 40s or 50s or 60s, it's not impossible, but in North America, I think it's hard. And there was a time I looked into it. The chances are for Caucasian women to turn around relationships to find more men, because apparently Caucasian men will probably prefer Caucasian women. But for Black women, it was difficult for Black women to find a Black man to settle with. And the odds were about three
Yeah.
to one or 4 to 1, something like that. Because many Black women were more organized, we're more professional, we're more settled than
Mm-hmm.
Black men.
And
And
black men.
Black men
Yeah.
were just not owning up to their space or whatever. But that's no conversation for now. I want to say a big thank you for your time tonight.